Captain Haiyan Wu looked out at the stars through the bridge windows of his ship. The Compassion's light was not like other ships that flew through space. It had no weapons. It had no armor. Instead, it had huge red crosses painted on its white hull. Everyone in the galaxy knew what those crosses meant. This was a hospital ship. Haiyan Wu had been captain of this ship for 5 years. He was proud of his job. His crew saved lives. They helped people who were hurt. They did not care if someone was human or alien. If someone needed help, they would help them. "Captain," said Taemin from his station. He was young, only 25 years old, but he was good at his job. "We are getting a call for help." Haiyan Wu walked over to Taemin's station. "What kind of call?" "It's from a group of refugee ships. They say they are stuck between 2 fighting armies. Many people are hurt. They need medical help right away." Haiyan Wu nodded. This was why they were here. "How many ships?" 12 ships, sir. They say they have 847 people. Many are families with children." "Set course for their location," Haiyan Wu said. "Tell Dr. So Young to get ready. We might have a lot of patients coming." Dr. So Young was the best Dr. Haiyan Wu had ever worked with. She was smart and fast. More important, she cared about every patient. She worked just as hard to save an alien child as she would to save a human child. The Compassion's light moved through space toward the refugee ships. As they got closer, Haiyan Wu could see the damage. The refugee ships looked old and broken. Some had holes in their hulls. Others were leaking air and fuel. Tae-Min, send out our medical codes. Make sure everyone knows we are a hospital ship. Yes, sir. Broadcasting medical neutrality codes now. Haiyan Wu knew the rules. Hospital ships were protected by galactic law. No one was supposed to attack them. They could go anywhere and help anyone. Even enemies were supposed to let hospital ships work in peace. The first refugee ship docked with the Compassion's light. Dr. So Young and her medical team were waiting. The doors opened, and hurt people started coming through. There were humans, but also many different types of aliens. Some had blue skin. Some had fur. Some had 4 arms instead of 2. "Bring them to Medical Bay 1, Dr. So Young said to her nurses. "The worst cases go to surgery first." A small alien child was carried in. She was bleeding and unconscious. Her mother was crying and holding her hand. Dr. So Young took the child gently. "We will help her," she told the mother in the alien's language. So Young had learned many languages, so she could talk to her patients. "She will be okay." More ships docked. More hurt people came aboard. The medical bays filled up quickly. Dr. So Young and her team worked without stopping. They cleaned wounds. They gave medicine. They performed surgery. Haiyan Wu walked through the medical bays. He saw his crew working hard to save lives. A human nurse was helping an alien soldier who had been shot. An alien doctor who had joined their crew was taking care of human children. "Captain," Taemin called over the ship's communication system. "I'm picking up new ships on our sensors. Big ones." Haiyan Wu went back to the bridge. On the main screen, he could see several large warships approaching. They were gray and black, with sharp edges and big guns. Haiyan Wu knew these ships. They belonged to the Vorthic Empire. The Vorthic were a warrior race. They believed that being strong was the only thing that mattered. They thought other species were weak if they were not good at fighting. They had been fighting the rebels for 2 years now. "Are they scanning us?" Haiyan Wu asked. "Yes, sir. They can see our medical codes. They know we are a hospital ship." "Good. Send them a message. Tell them we are treating wounded people under galactic medical law. Tell them we are neutral." Taemin sent the message. They waited for a reply. When it came, The voice was cold and harsh. "Human ship, you are helping our enemies. Leave now, or we will destroy you." Hyan Wu felt his heart beat faster, but he kept his voice calm. "This is Captain Hyan Wu of the hospital ship Compassion's Light. We are protected under galactic medical law. We treat all wounded people regardless of which side they fight for. We are not your enemy." "All who help rebels are enemies," the Vorthic commander replied. "You have 1 minute to leave." Hyan Wu looked around his bridge. His crew was scared, but they stayed at their stations. Down in the medical bays, Dr. So Young was still working to save lives. The alien child she had been treating was now awake and holding her mother's hand. "Sir," Taemin said quietly, "we still have 200 people in our medical bays. Many are still in surgery. If we move them now, they will die." Hyan Wu made his choice. "Send another message. Tell them we cannot leave. We have patients who will die. If we move them, remind them of galactic law." "Human fools," came the reply. "You choose death." On the main screen, Hyan Wu could see the Vorthic ships turning toward them. Their weapons were charging up. Red lights began flashing on the Compassions. "Light. Taemin, get to an escape pod," Hyan Wu ordered. "Send everything we've recorded back to Earth. They need to know what happened here." "Sir, I won't leave." "That's an order. Go." Down in the medical bays, Dr. So Young heard the alarms. She knew what they meant, but she did not stop working. An alien child was on her surgery table. She would not leave him. "It's okay," she told her nurses. "Keep working. These people need us." When the first enemy shots hit the ship, the lights went out for a moment. Emergency power came on, bathing everything in red light. Dr. So Young continued her surgery using a small flashlight. The second round of shots hit harder. The ship shook. Dr. So Young fell, but got back up. The alien child on her table was still alive. She had to finish the surgery. On the bridge, Hyan Wu stayed at his station. He kept broadcasting their medical codes and surrender signals. Maybe the Vorthic would realize their mistake. Maybe they would stop. They did not stop. Tae-Min reached his escape pod just a third attack hit. The pod launched automatically when it detected the ship was about to explode. Through the small window, he watched the Compassion's light break. Apart, he saw Dr. So Young in one of the medical bay windows. She was holding the alien child, shielding him with her body as fire spread through the room. He saw Captain Hyan Wu on the bridge, still trying to broadcast surrender codes even as the ceiling fell down around him. Then the ship exploded, and they were all gone. The Vorthic ships fired on the escape pods next. Most were destroyed. Only Taemin's pod escaped, damaged but still working. As he drifted in space, he activated his emergency beacon and started recording his message to Earth. "This is Communications Officer Taemin of the hospital ship Compassion's Light," he said into his recorder, tears running down his face. "The Vorthic Empire has destroyed our ship. Captain Hyan Wu, Dr. So Young, and 845 patients are dead. They fired on a hospital ship. They killed everyone." His message would take 3 days to reach Earth. When it did, everything would change. 3 days later, Admiral Gino was drinking his morning coffee when the priority message arrived. He almost dropped his cup when he saw what it was about. The words on his screen seemed impossible to believe. Hospital ship destroyed. All hands. Lost survivors. 1. Jinho had known Captain Hyan Wu since they were both young officers. They had served together on the same ship 20 years ago. Hyan Wu had chosen to become a medical captain because he wanted to save lives instead of taking them. Jinho had stayed in the military to protect people like Hyan Wu. Now Hyan Wu was dead. Jin-Ho called his assistant. "Get me President Mi-eun right away. Tell her it's urgent." While he waited, Jin-Ho watched Tae-min's recording. The young man looked terrible. His face was dirty, and he had cuts on his forehead, but his voice was steady as he told his story. "They knew we were a hospital ship," Tae-min said in the recording. "Captain Hyan-woo told them 3 times. He showed them our medical codes. He explained galactic law. They didn't care. The Vorthic commander said we were enemies because we helped injured rebels. The recording showed the attack." Jin-Ho watched. The Compassion's light explode. He saw the pieces of his friend's ship floating in space. He saw the Vorthic ships shooting at escape pods full of wounded people. President Mi-eun arrived at Jin-Ho's office 30 minutes later. She had been combat medic before she became a politician. She understood both war and medicine. "Show me," she said. Chin dash. Ho played the recording again. Mi-eun watched without speaking. When it was over, she was quiet for a long time. "How many?" she finally asked. 847 people. Captain Hyan-woo, Dr. So-young, and 845 patients. Men, women, children. Different species, but all under our protection. Mi-eun closed her eyes. "Dr. So-young was my student once. I taught her how to perform surgery during her first year of medical school. She was the best student I ever had." "What do we do?" Jin-Ho asked. "We call an emergency meeting of the Earth Council. Every member needs to see this recording." 2 hours later, the Earth Council met in emergency session. There were 50 people in the room, the most important, leaders from every nation on Earth. They all watched Tae-min's recording in silence. When it was over, the room stayed quiet. Finally, Dr. Yeon-soo spoke. She was the director of the Earth Medical Course and had been Dr. So-young's teacher and friend. "So-young called me last week," Dr. Yeon-soo said. Her voice was shaking. She was excited because she had helped deliver twin babies on a refugee ship, 2 little alien girls. She said their mother named them Hope and Peace. Dr. Yeon-soo wiped tears from her eyes. "Those babies are dead now. So-young died trying to protect them." General Dong-hyun stood up. He was the head of Earth's military forces. "This is an act of war. The Vorthic Empire has broken every law of civilized space. They have attacked non-combatants. They have murdered medical personnel. They have committed war crimes." President Mi-eun nodded. "The question is, what do we do about it?" "We demand justice," said the representative from Korea. Captain Hyan-woo and Dr. So-young were our people. We cannot let this stand. "The other galactic powers will do nothing," said the representative from Nigeria. "They are afraid of the Vorthic. They will say it was unfortunate, but that we should not start a war over it. Then we act alone." General Dong-hyun said. President Mi-eun stood up. The room became very quiet. Everyone knew that what she said next would change everything. "For 50 years, we have been the healers of the galaxy," she said. "We have sent medical ships to every corner of space. We have saved millions of lives. We have asked for nothing in return except the right to help people who are hurt." She paused and looked around the room. "The Vorthic Empire has chosen to make our healers into targets. They have decided that mercy is weakness. They have killed our doctors and nurses for the crime of saving lives." President Mi-eun's voice became harder. "They made a mistake. They think we are weak because we choose to heal instead of hurt. They think we cannot fight because we choose not to fight. They are wrong." She turned to Admiral Jin-Ho. "Admiral, how many ships do we have?" "Our exploration fleet has 400 ships. Our defense fleet has 300 ships. Our deep space research ships add another 200. In total, we have about 900 ships scattered across human space. Recall them all Every single ship. Bring them home." "Ma'am, that will take months. Some ships are years away from Earth. Then we wait, but we bring them all home." President Miaran looked around the room again. "When they are all here, we are going to show the Vorthic Empire what happens when you attack healers." General Donghain smiled. It was not a nice smile. "What are your orders, Madam President?" "Send a message to every human ship in space. Tell them what happened to the Compassion's Light. Tell them about Captain Haiyan Wu and Dr. So Young. Tell them about the 845 patients who died. Then tell them to come home." "What reason should I give for the recall?" President Mayran was quiet for a moment. Then she said words that would be remembered forever. "Tell them we are done being just healers. Tell them it's time to be human again." The message went out that night. It was simple and direct. To all human ships. The hospital ship. Compassion's Light has been destroyed by the Vorthic Empire. Captain Haiyan Wu, Dr. So Young, and 845 patients are dead. The attack was unprovoked and violated all galactic laws. All ships are ordered to return to Earth immediately. Prepare for war. The reactions came quickly. Ship captains who had been exploring distant stars suddenly changed course. Scientists who had been studying peaceful alien cultures started heading home. Even merchant ships began the long journey back to Earth. But it was the messages from the military ships that made Admiral Jin-Ho smile. "This is Captain Chang Min of the Dreadnought Soul's Vengeance. We are coming home. We will have justice for our fallen comrades. This is Captain Hai Jin of the cruiser Bizen's Pride. Our weapons are ready. Our crew is angry. We are coming." One by one, the messages came in. Hundreds of ships, all turning toward Earth. All ready to fight. In his hospital room, Taemin was recovering from his injuries. Dr. Yeon-su was taking care of him personally. When she told him about the recall, he started crying. "They're really coming?" he asked. "Every ship," Dr. Yeon-su said. "Every captain who ever served with Haiyan Wu. Every doctor who trained with So Young. Every human who believes that healers should be protected." Tae-min closed his eyes. "Good. The Vorthic think we are weak because we help people. They need to learn the truth." "What truth?" Dr. Yeon-su asked. Tae-min opened his eyes. For the first time since his rescue, he was not crying. "We help people because we choose to. But when someone kills our healers, we choose something else." Across the galaxy, the other species watched in surprise as human ships began moving. For 50 years, humans had been peaceful. They had built hospitals, not weapons. They had trained doctors, not soldiers. Now they were all coming home. The Vorthic Empire received reports of human ship movements. Their commanders laughed. What could a bunch of peaceful healers do against the mighty Vorthic fleet? They would find out soon enough. On Earth, President Mayran stood on the balcony of her office, looking up at the stars. Somewhere out there, her people were coming home. They were angry, and they were hurt, and they wanted justice. "So Young," she whispered to the night sky, "we will not forget you. We will not forget any of them." The fleet of anger was coming home. 6 months later, the ships came home. They did not come quietly. They did not come in small groups. They came together in one massive fleet that blocked out the sun above Earth. Admiral Jin-Ho stood on the command deck of Earth's main space station, watching the ships arrive. He had seen many fleets in his career, but nothing like this. 847 ships hung in space around Earth. One ship for every person who had died on the Compassion's Light. These were not the peaceful exploration ships that had left Earth years ago. The captains had changed them during their long journey home. Weapons had been added. Armor had been installed. Ships that once carried scientific equipment now carried missiles and energy cannons. "Admiral," said his communications officer, "Captain Chong-min is requesting permission to dock." "Send him up." Captain Chong-min was a big man with scars on his face from old battles. His ship, the Soul's Vengeance, was one of Earth's largest dreadnoughts. He had been exploring the far edge of the galaxy when the recall message reached him. "Admiral," Chong-min said as he entered the command center, "my ship is ready for battle. My crew is ready for war. How long did it take you to get here?" 5 months. We pushed our engines past their limits. 2 of my crew members died from radiation poisoning because we couldn't stop to fix our shields properly. Chang-min's face was hard. They volunteered to stay in the engine room anyway. They said Captain Haiyan Wu would have done the same thing. More captains arrived over the next few hours. Captain Hai Jin came from the cruiser Bison's Pride. Commander Kyung Ho brought his Special Forces ship Incheon's Hammer. Lieutenant Bio Ram led a squadron of fighter ships that had been modified for long-range combat. Each captain had the same look in their eyes. They were angry, but it was a cold anger. They had spent months thinking about what they would do to the people who killed their friends. "What's our target?" Captain Hai Jin asked. Admiral Jinho activated the main display. It showed a star map with a red line leading from Earth to a distant solar system. The Vorthic home system. 3 planets, 2 asteroid mining stations, and their main fleet base. "How many ships do they have?" Commander Kyung-ho asked. "Intelligence says about 400 warships, plus support vessels. Their ships are bigger than ours, but we have more of them." Lieutenant Bao Ram smiled. "Numbers won't matter. They've been fighting rebels with old weapons and broken ships. They've never fought humans who are serious about war." Admiral Jinho nodded. "That's what we're counting on. The Vorthic think we're weak because we've been peaceful. They think our technology is for healing, not fighting. They're wrong." Captain Chong-min crossed his arms. "What are our orders, Admiral?" "Total war. We destroy their fleet. We capture their leaders. We make sure they never attack another hospital ship again." "What about their civilians?" Captain Hai Jin asked. Admiral Jinho was quiet for a moment. "We are not them. We do not kill non-combatants. We do not attack the innocent. But anyone who participates in their military will face the consequences." "When do we leave?" "Commander," Kyung-ho asked, "tomorrow. But first, we send them a message." An hour later, Admiral Jinho stood in the main communications center. Every human ship was connected to the broadcast. Every captain and crew member could hear what he was about to say. But more importantly, the message would be sent to every world in the galaxy. "This is Admiral Jinho of the Earth Defense Fleet," he began. 6 months ago, the Vorthic Empire committed an act of unprecedented brutality. They destroyed the hospital, shipped Compassion's Light, and murdered 847 innocent people who were providing medical aid. The Admiral's voice became harder. The victims included Captain Haiyan Wu, a man who had never fired a weapon at another living being. Dr. So Young, who had saved over 1,000 lives in her career. 845 patients from a dozen different species, including children who had done nothing wrong except be born in a war zone. Admiral Jinho paused. Across the fleet, human crews listened in silence. For 50 years, humanity has chosen peace. We have chosen to heal instead of hurt. We have chosen to build hospitals instead of weapons. We have chosen to save lives instead of taking them." His voice became cold as space itself. "The Vorthic Empire has decided that our mercy is weakness. They have decided that our healers are targets. They have decided that our choice to be peaceful means we cannot be warriors." Admiral Jinho looked directly into the camera. "They are wrong. We are peaceful because we choose to be peaceful. We are healers because we choose to heal. But when someone murders our doctors and nurses, when someone kills patients under our protection, when someone fires on a hospital ship, we choose something else. He gestured toward the fleet, visible through the station windows. 847 ships are assembled. Here, one for every soul lost on the Compassion's Light. These ships carry the finest crews in human space. They carry weapons designed by the same minds that created our medical technology. They carry the anger of an entire species that has been pushed too far. Admiral Jinho's voice rose. To the Vorthic Empire, you wanted to see what humans do when you threaten our healers. You are about to find out. We are coming for you. We are coming for justice. We are coming with a fleet of anger that will not stop until every war criminal responsible for this atrocity faces judgment. He paused again. To the other species of the galaxy, remember this day. Remember that humanity tried peace first. Remember that we spent 50 years healing your wounds and asking for nothing in return. And remember what happened when someone decided to repay our kindness with murder. Admiral Jinho straightened up. The hospital ship, Compassion's Light, is gone. Captain, Haiyan Wu is dead. Dr. So Young is dead. 845 patients are dead. But their memory lives on in every human heart, and their killers will face justice. The broadcast ended. Across the galaxy, billions of beings had heard humanity's declaration of war. Some were afraid. Some were excited. Many were surprised that the peaceful humans could sound so frightening when they were angry. On the Vorthic homeworld, military commanders watched the broadcast and laughed. 847 ships sounded like a lot, but Vorthic ships were bigger and stronger. These humans had never fought a real war. They would learn the hard way that healing and fighting were very different things. Commander Gorthan, the Vorthic officer who had ordered the attack on the Compassion's Light, was promoted for his victory over the human ship. He gave speeches about how weak humans were. He said they would run away as soon as they saw real Vorthic warriors. Let them come, he told his officers. We will destroy them just like we destroyed the little hospital ship. Then the galaxy will know that the Vorthic Empire fears no one. But deep in space, other aliens who had fought humans before were not so confident. Pirates who had attacked human merchant ships remembered how quickly those peaceful humans had fought back. Slavers who had tried to capture human explorers remembered how impossible it was to break human prisoners. An old alien trader sent a message to his friend on the Vorthic homeworld. You have made a terrible mistake. Humans are not peaceful because they are weak. They are peaceful because they choose to be. When they choose war instead, they become something else entirely. The message was ignored. On Earth's main space station, Admiral Jinho met with his captains one last time before departure. Questions? He asked. Captain Chong Min raised his hand. What happens after we win? We go home. We rebuild our medical fleet. We go back to saving lives. And if we lose? Lieutenant Bo Ram asked. Admiral Jinho smiled grimly. We won't lose. The Vorthic think we're the same humans who left Earth 50 years ago to explore and heal. They're wrong. We're the same species that conquered our own planet before we ever left it. We're the same species that survived ice ages and plagues and wars that lasted decades. He looked around the room at his captains. We chose to be healers, but our ancestors were warriors. And sometimes, when innocent people are murdered, warriors are exactly what the galaxy needs. The next morning, 847 ships left Earth's solar system. They moved in perfect formation, like a school of metal fish swimming through the darkness of space. At their head flew Admiral Jinho's flagship, broadcasting a simple message on all frequencies. Justice comes. Behind them, Earth continued to spin peacefully in space. But the planet that had sent out explorers and doctors and teachers had now sent out something else entirely. The biggest fleet of warships in human history, carrying the controlled fury of an entire species. The Vorthic Empire was about to learn why humans had conquered their own world long before they ever reached for the stars. The war began at the edge of Vorthic space. Admiral Jin Ho's fleet had traveled for 3 weeks to reach their first target, a Vorthic military station guarding the border. The station was huge, with enough weapons to destroy a small fleet. The Vorthic commanders thought it would stop the humans easily. They were wrong. "This is Admiral Jin Ho to all ships," came the voice over the fleet communications. "Remember, we are not here for revenge. We are here for justice. Target only military installations. Protect any civilians you encounter." Captain Chong Min watched from the bridge of the Soul's Vengeance as the human fleet spread out around the station. The Vorthic had 50 ships defending the area. The humans had brought 200. "Sir," said his weapons officer, "they're sending us a message." The Vorthic commander appeared on the main screen. He was tall and gray-skinned, with sharp teeth and red eyes. His voice was full of anger. "Human cowards. You bring many ships because you are too weak to fight fairly. Turn around and go home before we destroy you all." Captain Chong Min replied calmly. "This is Captain Chong Min of the Earth Defense Fleet. You are defending war criminals. Surrender now, and you will be treated fairly under galactic law." The Vorthic commander laughed. "Galactic law? You mean the same law you broke when you declared war on us? We did not break galactic law. Your empire did when it attacked a hospital ship. We are here to arrest the criminals responsible. Then come and try. Weak humans. The battle lasted 6 hours. When it was over, the Vorthic station was destroyed, and 40 of their ships were captured or destroyed. The humans lost 3 ships. The real shock came when the surviving Vorthic officers were brought aboard human ships. They expected to be tortured or killed. Instead, they were taken to medical bays and treated for their injuries. "Why are you helping us?" asked a wounded Vorthic pilot. "We are your enemies." The human doctor treating him was named Dr. Min Ho. He had trained under Dr. So Young years ago. "Because that's what we do," he said simply. "We help people who are hurt, even if they are our enemies." The Vorthic pilot was confused. These humans fought like warriors, but they healed like doctors. What kind of species did both? Word of the battle spread quickly through Vorthic space. Their military leaders were worried but not panicked. Losing one border station was not a disaster. They still had hundreds of ships, and the humans would have to fight through multiple defensive lines to reach the home system. General Kralvex was in charge of Vorthic military operations. He was a smart commander who had won many battles against rebel forces. He thought he understood how to fight humans. "They are soft," he told his officers. "They waste time helping wounded enemies. They refuse to attack civilians. These weaknesses will cost them the war." General Kralvex was wrong. The humans did not fight like any enemy the Vorthic had faced before. They did not just attack with superior numbers. They used tactics that seemed impossible. Captain Heijin's cruiser squadron specialized in something the Vorthic had never seen: boarding actions. While Vorthic ships concentrated on long-range battles with energy weapons, human ships would get close and actually send soldiers inside enemy vessels. The Vorthic had never developed defenses against this kind of fighting. Their ships were designed to shoot at targets far away, not to fight soldiers in their own hallways. How do they move so fast? Wondered a Vorthic ship captain after his vessel was captured by human boarding teams. "My corridors are too narrow for large groups of attackers." The answer was Commander Kung Ho and his special forces teams. These humans had trained for years to fight in small spaces. They could move through ship corridors like water flowing through pipes. They used weapons that worked well in tight spaces, knives, small guns, and tools that could cut through doors in seconds. But the most frightening thing about human boarding teams was not their weapons or their tactics. It was their attitude. They don't seem afraid, reported one Vorthik officer who survived a boarding action. When we fight, we think about dying. When they fight, they think about winning. It's like they have already decided they cannot lose. This was exactly right. The human soldiers had spent months traveling to Vorthik space. During that time, they had watched recordings of the Compassion's light being destroyed over and over. They had memorized the names of every person who died. They had studied pictures of Dr. So Young treating alien children and Captain Haiyan Wu staying at his post until the end. These humans were not fighting for territory or resources. They were fighting for their murdered friends. That made them. Very dangerous Lieutenant B.O. Ram led the fighter squadrons. Her small, fast ships could outrun anything the Vorthik had. But more important, they fought with a coordination that amazed enemy pilots. It's like they share one mind, reported. Vorthik fighter ace after being shot down. I would target one human ship, but 3 others would immediately move to protect it. I would try to escape, but they would predict exactly where I was going. This coordination came from something the Vorthik did not understand: human friendship. BioRam's pilots had trained together for years. They knew each other so well that they could anticipate each other's actions. They trusted each other completely. When one human pilot was in trouble, the others would risk their own lives to help. When one human ship was damaged, others would stay behind to protect it instead of continuing the attack. This should have made them weaker, but somehow it made them stronger. As the human fleet moved deeper into Vorthik space, they left something behind every battle, prisoners who could not believe what they had seen. They are not like us, one captured Vorthik officer told his interrogators. When we fight for ourselves. When they fight for each other. I have never seen anything like it. Admiral Jin Ho's fleet reached the inner system after 6 weeks of fighting. They had destroyed 15 military stations and captured or destroyed over 200 Vorthik ships. But the hardest battle was still ahead. The Vorthik homeworld was protected by a massive space fortress, and the core of their fleet, 150 of their biggest, most powerful warships. General Kral Vex commanded the defense personally. Let them come, he said to his officers. We will make our final stand here. Either we stop them, or we die trying. But Admiral Jin Ho had a surprise for the Vorthik defenders. His fleet did not attack the space fortress directly. Instead, they surrounded the entire system and waited. What are they doing? Wondered General Kral-Vex. The answer came in transmission. From Admiral Jin Ho, that was broadcast to every ship in the system. This is Admiral Jin Ho of the Earth Defense Fleet. We are here to arrest the war criminals responsible for destroying the hospital ship, Compassion's Light. We know these criminals are on your homeworld. Surrender them to us, and this war will end. You will have to take them by force, General Kral-Vex replied. If that is your choice, Admiral Jin Ho said calmly. The human fleet began a bombardment unlike anything the Vorthik had ever experienced. But they did not target the planet or civilian areas. They targeted only military installations with surgical precision. Commander Gore, then, the officer who had ordered the attack on the Compassion's Light, was on the planet's surface. He watched human ships destroy military bases while leaving. Hospitals and schools completely untouched. How are they so accurate? He asked his aide. The aide looked at the tactical display. Sir, I think they are using medical technology to aim their weapons. The same scanners they use to find tumors in patients, they are using to find military targets in our cities. This was true. Human weapons were guided by the same precision technology the human doctors used to perform surgery. The species that could remove a cancer cell without damaging healthy tissue could also destroy a weapons depot without hurting the school next door. After 3 days of bombardment, General Kralvex realized his situation was hopeless. The humans had destroyed most of his fleet without losing more than a dozen ships. Their tactics, their coordination, their technology, everything was better than he had expected. But the final shock came when Commander Kyung-ho's boarding teams captured the very ship that had destroyed the Compassion's light. In the ship's computer records, they found everything: the communications with the hospital ship, the order to attack, the systematic destruction of escape pods filled with wounded civilians. Commander Kyung-ho brought the evidence to Admiral Jin-ho personally. "Here it is, Admiral. Proof of their war crimes. Complete records of the attack." Admiral Jin-ho watched the recordings with his senior officers. They saw Captain Hyan-woo's repeated attempts to surrender. They saw Dr. So-young dying while trying to protect her patients. They saw the Vorthic ships deliberately targeting escape pods. "That's enough," Admiral Jin-ho said finally. "Send a message to the planet. Tell them we have the evidence we need. Tell them they have 1 day to surrender the war criminals to us, or we will come down and get them ourselves." On the Vorthic homeworld, Emperor Vorzun faced an impossible choice. He could surrender his military officers to the humans, or he could watch his planet's defenses be completely destroyed. He chose surrender. "We will give you the war criminals," came the message from the planet. "But you must promise to treat them fairly." Admiral Jin-ho's reply was broadcast across the galaxy. "Unlike some species, humans believe in justice, not revenge. The war criminals will receive." The trial took place above the Vorthic homeworld, on a space station that Admiral Jin-ho had specially built for this purpose. Representatives from every major galactic power came to watch. They wanted to see how humans would handle justice. Commander Gordon and 15 other Vorthic officers sat in the defendants section. They were the ones responsible for destroying the Compassion's light and murdering its passengers. The evidence against them was overwhelming. Judge Dae-jung was a human legal expert who had studied galactic law for 30 years. He was known for being fair but firm. Even aliens respected his decisions. "This tribunal is now in session," Judge Dae-jung announced. "We are here to determine the guilt or innocence of the defendants in the matter of the destruction of the hospital ship, Compassion's light, and the murder of 847 innocent beings." The prosecutor was a human lawyer named Kim Sun-mi. She had volunteered for this job because she wanted justice for Dr. So-young and Captain Hyan-woo. "Your Honor," Prosecutor Sun-mi began, "the evidence will show that these defendants deliberately and knowingly attacked a clearly marked hospital ship. They ignored repeated surrender signals. They murdered wounded civilians. They committed war crimes against beings who were trying to help people." The defense lawyer was also human. His name was Park Ji-eun, and many people thought he was crazy for defending the Vorthic officers. But he believed that even war criminals deserved a fair trial. "Your Honor," defense lawyer Ji-hoon said, "my clients acted according to their military training and the laws of their empire. They believed they were fighting legitimate enemies in a time of war." For 3 weeks, the galaxy watched as humans conducted the most fair and thorough war crimes trial in galactic history. Every piece of evidence was examined. Every witness was heard. The defendants were allowed to speak in their own defense. Tamin testified about what he had seen. He described Captain Hyan-woo's attempts to surrender and Dr. So-young's efforts to save her patients, even as the ship was under attack. "Knew we were a hospital ship," Tamin said, tears in his eyes. The medical codes were broadcasting on every frequency. Captain Hyan-woo explained galactic law to them. They just didn't care. Dr. Yeon-soo testified about the patients who had died. She read their names, their ages, their species. She explained how Dr. So Young had been treating each one. Little. Zara was only 6 years old, Dr. Yeon-su said. She was a refugee from the war zone. Dr. So Young had just finished surgery to repair her damaged lung when the attack began. So Young died trying to shield her from the explosion. The most damaging testimony came from the Vorthik ship's own computer records. The recordings showed Commander Gorthen's exact words when he ordered the attack. Destroy the inferior species. They help our enemies, so they are enemies too. Make an example of them. When it was time for the defendants to speak, Commander Gorthen showed no remorse. I did my duty as a Vorthek warrior, he said. In war, there are no innocents. Everyone who helps your enemy is your enemy too. Judge Dae-young asked him a direct question. Did you know that attacking hospital ships violates galactic law? Yes. Did you know that the humans on that ship were non-combatants providing medical aid? Yes. Did you know that many of the patients were children? Commander Gorthen hesitated, then answered, Yes. And you ordered the attack anyway? Yes. I would do it again. The courtroom was silent. Even his own defense lawyer looked shocked. After 3 weeks of testimony, Judge Dae-young announced his verdict. The evidence is clear and overwhelming. The defendants knowingly and deliberately attacked a hospital ship, clearly marked with medical symbols and broadcasting medical neutrality codes. They ignored repeated attempts at surrender. They murdered non-combatant medical personnel and wounded civilians, including children. Judge Dae-young looked directly at Commander Gorthen. This tribunal finds all defendants guilty of war crimes, murder, and violations of galactic law. The sentence was exile to a prison world where the defendants would spend the rest of their lives providing medical aid to refugees. They would learn what it meant to heal instead of hurt. You destroyed a hospital, Judge Dae-young told them. Now you will work in one. Perhaps in time you will understand what you took from the galaxy when you killed Dr. So Young and her colleagues. Commander Gorthen was furious. This is not justice. This is humiliation. No, said Judge Dae-young quietly. Justice would be putting you in an escape pod and shooting you like you shot those refugees. This is mercy. With the trial over, Admiral Jinho had one more task to complete. At the exact location where the Compassion's light had been destroyed, humans built a new space station. It was both a memorial and a hospital. The station was called So Young's Promise. It provided free medical care to anyone who needed it, regardless of species or politics. The main medical bay had a plaque with the names of everyone who had died on the original hospital ship. Dr. Young-su, who had been Dr. So Young's student, was chosen to run the new hospital. At the dedication ceremony, he spoke to representatives from across the galaxy. Dr. So Young believed that healing was the highest calling of any intelligent being, he said. She died because she refused to abandon her patients, even when it would have saved her life. This station is her promise that healers will never be forgotten, and that those who protect healers will never be alone. Tae-min, now promoted to captain, commanded the station's security. He made sure that no one would ever again attack a hospital in this part of space. The ceremony was broadcast across the galaxy. Aliens who had never heard of humans before learned about the species that would cross the galaxy to protect their doctors. Pirates and warlords who might have considered attacking medical ships thought twice. But the most important part of the ceremony came when Admiral Jinho made an announcement that surprised everyone. The Earth Defense Fleet will now provide permanent escort for all hospital ships operating in this sector of space, he said. Any medical vessel, human or alien, that requests protection will receive it. We will not allow another Compassion's light to happen. President Miran, watching from Earth, smiled. This was perfect. Humans would go back to being healers. But now everyone would know that the healers were protected by warriors. The Vorthic Empire formally surrendered the next day. Emperor Vorzon signed a treaty promising that his people would never again attack medical personnel or hospital ships. The Empire also agreed to pay for the construction of 10 new hospital ships to replace the one they had destroyed. General Král Vex, who had led the defense of the Vorthic homeworld, asked to meet with Admiral Jinho before the human fleet departed. "I have a question," the Vorthic general said. "Your people fight like warriors, but you heal like saints. How is this possible?" Admiral Jinho thought for a moment. "We are human," he said finally. "We can be both. We choose to heal because healing is good. But when someone hurts our healers, we choose to fight because fighting is necessary." "I do not understand," General Král Vex said. "Your people think strength means never showing mercy. Our people think strength means choosing when to show mercy and when not to. We showed mercy to your wounded soldiers and your civilians. We did not show mercy to your war criminals." General Král Vex nodded slowly. "I think I understand now. You are dangerous because you can control your anger." "Exactly," Admiral Jinho said. "We could have destroyed your entire homeworld. We chose not to. But we could have, and now everyone knows it." As the human fleet prepared to leave Vorthic space, Admiral Jinho received a message from Earth. It was from President Miran. "Admiral, your mission is complete. Come home. But leave some ships behind to protect the new hospital station. The galaxy needs to know that we are serious about protecting healers." Admiral Jinho smiled. "Already done, Madam President. Captain Chong Min has volunteered to stay with a squadron of ships. They will make sure that no one ever attacks another hospital ship in this sector." "Good. An admiral?" "Yes, ma'am. Dr. So Young and Captain Hyun Woo would be proud." As the human fleet departed for Earth, they left behind more than just a few Guardian ships. They left behind a new understanding among the galactic powers. Humans were healers by choice, not weakness. Humans were peaceful by choice, not inability. And when someone chose to make war on human healers, they would face something that no species in the galaxy had ever seen before: the full military might of Earth, focused with surgical precision on the pursuit of justice. The message was clear to every pirate, warlord, and empire in the galaxy. Touch a hospital ship, and you will face a fleet of anger. 6 months later, Tae Min stood on the observation deck of So Young's Promise, watching a human medical transport dock with the station. The ship was bringing supplies and new doctors to help with the refugees still coming to the area dot as the medical teams disembarked. Tae Min smiled. Dr. So Young had been right. Healing was the highest calling of any intelligent being. But now, the healers knew they were not alone. Somewhere in the darkness of space, human warships patrolled the medical shipping lanes. They carried the same message Captain Hyun Woo had tried to send with his surrender signals. "We are here to help." But now they carried a second message, one that the Vorthic Empire and every other species in the galaxy understood perfectly. "And we are here to protect those who help."